Three people, one path. On a brisk January night, I was cruising along the Burke Gilman on my bicycle. If any Seattleites are reading this or listening, heyo, you may know that this particular bike path can be a little sketchy once night falls. That being said, I'm always hyper vigilant when riding alone at night. When I see anyone on the dark and destitute trail, I always observe and examine those oncoming persons, not only to feel out if it will be safe, but also to make up a story for what those people are doing on the path at night. It's an entertaining way to keep my ride lighthearted. I was quickly approaching a slow-moving figure, ski pole attached to each hand. Nightwalker. This gentleman appeared to be in his 70s, bundled up, and it was clear that he had limitations to his mobility, but he was walking with grit. The look on his face was pure determination. Each step that I witnessed was a step of true desire to move to where he wanted to be. At least, that's the way I saw it. Up ahead, there was another bicyclist. As we zipped closer together, I noticed he was around maybe 14. But the look on his face, desperation covered his face. Perhaps he was cold and wanted to get home quickly, or he was hungry, or he didn't want to be bicycling. I can only make inferences. Then there was me. How did I look to those people? Probably like a fleece lad in streak. I'll never know. But the contrast between these two people and how their presence struck me not only left me giggling, but also curious as to what our purpose is when we are on the move. We were three people on one path, all with varying motivations. It was when I witnessed this that I realized we were all on the same path. Of course, that path being life. It is essential to recognize others' motivations and their expressions of their will, to witness how others put one foot in front of the other, or alternatively, how fast or slow one is pedaling, is to realize that we all bring a distinct purpose to a shared path. What I took away from this bike ride is that we need to start taking our observations of other people a step further. Naturally, we are quick to judge a person based on their outward appearance. But we are also just as capable of reinventing how we judge a person. Let's pick apart the emotion we see on another person's face and selfishly use it as a lesson. Let's take it in a way that will either spark our curiosity or allow us to cultivate a mini life lesson. Perhaps another person's brief presence in our life can be the catalyst for how we pursue our next steps. How we view or interpret that person's purpose can be the inspiration we need to take down the barriers we have around our minds and our hearts in order to keep moving forward. So, here's the mini life lesson I made from this experience. It's a cinch to unravel at the moment that we fall or find hardships in our lives. Allow yourself to see those hardships as one singular step on your path of forward mobility. That step you tripped and stubbed your toe on. Because that step that you tripped on was in fact the last step that you tripped on. It will never be the same trip in the future. It is up to you to shake that trip off or walk around with that aching the rest of your days. Be mindful in the way that you react to that stubbed toe and recognize that it may be painful, but it is only temporary. The older gentleman kept moving despite his mobile limitations. That younger gentleman kept moving because of his desperation. I kept moving because there was no other reason not to. I guess what this writing has filtered down to is to remind you to just always move with a purpose. Always move forward with your purpose.